It's a little different for sure, but when you guys both came through that path of both software and hardware and building products and encapsulated both, and both needed to be successful and be correct in order for the product to be correct. Do those companies have those companies thought of themselves as hardware companies traditionally with a burst of software? Are they do they think of themselves now as software companies where hardware is commoditized? How do you think about that concept right now in terms of that, or they maybe think themselves as hybrid?
It's a progression for most companies. So many of the companies I worked for, they started out as hardware companies, and you could see it in their DNA, in their processes and everything. And software became more and more and more important. And companies were more or less successful in making that transition. So one of the most fascinating transitions I was part was that literally we had one very important component that started out as a custom ASICs development, moved over in the next generation to an FPGA, and finally in the latest generation moved to graphic card and parallel processing and purely software. And so you can see this progression in many different areas. So the ones which are successful, they started to embrace software and they became combination hybrid companies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Horst. Typically, companies start out building hardware. Actually, companies start out being run by engineers. A bunch of engineers have an idea, build a contraption, and works pretty well. So start selling it. And I saw that software is really more like an afterthought at the beginning. It's more like the accepted evil to make things run. So you have to have it. Whereas as Horst said, as they progress, as the devices become more powerful, more popular, more user involved, more centric to what the user needs to do, software becomes more and more important. You now tend to add features just by software, and then lastly, the next step will be, going from a software company to become a data company, and that's something I'm sure we will talk about. But that's what I'm seeing happening a lot over the last 5 to 10 years.
Right.